If you are wondering what the heck this new term that keeps popping up called UGC is, or how to boost your brand authenticity and therefore trust in the marketplace, then this video is for you. So UGC, or user-generated content, is not necessarily a new thing. It's been poking around the marketplace for quite a little while at this point. And it is this idea of getting your users or getting your clients or your network to create content and post for you. Now, it can be really hard to get people to go and create an actual post for you, but this could be reviews, it could be social media posts, it could be videos. This is something that is basically it's kind of become a little bit more formalized, but influencer marketing is pretty much the next evolution of UGC, is this user-generated content. Now, here's the thing. It can be really hard to get people to go make these posts. It can be really hard to actually get full-on user-generated content. We'll talk about a few of those tips right now, but I do want to encourage you to think about this a little bit beyond getting them to create a post on their own profile. Think about this in terms of what if you could start getting people to engage in the comments with your material? That is still user-generated content that is boosting your brand authenticity on your own platform, so you know you already have people who are paying attention and considering buying. UGC, user content, has become a massive growth piece in the marketing world. It is something that everyone is obsessing over because it is really truly the next level of marketing. So user-generated content will build trust and authenticity, obviously, with your audiences. It also increases engagement because that is what user-generated content is. It also helps with expanding and growing your community because like people hang out with like people. So the people who are buying from you and in love with buying from you already probably have other people in their network who also would like to buy from you and would really become raving fans of what you do. Plus, and this is my favorite part, it can be incredibly cost effective. So what's the downside? It's just kind of hard to get. We have to actually have a plan and a strategy and put some effort into this. It's not usually something that happens on its own as much as people want to pretend it does. So there's a few things that we can do here. There are obviously a lot of the existing strategies of hosting a contest or a giveaway of some variety, having a branded hashtag, encouraging people to make posts using your hashtag, or saying, hey, we'll give away a drawing, we'll put all the names for everyone who makes a post with this picture of our mascot into a drawing and they will win XYZ. Those are all of the fairly classic, try and drive more engagement, get people to post. You're literally just bribing people to do it. Now, I will say, as with most marketing out there, this is not going to perform any better than your actual businesses. So if your business is not doing good stuff for people, if they don't love the product or service you're providing, they're not going to post about you. You could bribe them. You would have to really bribe them. The more they love your company, the more they love what you do, the less you will have to bribe them to post about you. And one thing that you can do to help get more posts going out there about your own stuff is take the content someone else creates about you and share it to your brand. People love being highlighted like that. Oh my gosh, we love Tanya. She talked about us, and so we're gonna post her video or post her post, repost and share it. Don't steal it, but share it and give them credit. Call them out as the most amazing person. Make them feel special for talking about you, and you'll start to create a little bit of a rolling effect because that creates a boost of dopamine, and now they all want that happening again, and so next time they interact with you, they're probably going to do the same thing. Now, the biggest thing that most people don't think about when it comes to UGC is that in order to get people to talk about you, you have to give them something to talk about. So if you've been paying attention to a lot of the videos I've talked about for the past couple of years, it is really, really valuable to do something worth talking about in your marketing, with your marketing. Now, whether this is going out and running an actual campaign to try and help the homeless people in your city because that aligns with your brand messaging, and so you actually put your marketing dollars into this campaign to help people, you document it, you share it, not so much as a way to try and get people to be oh, they're such a good person, but more because you're hey, we're trying to expand the reach, and if you do ABC, you can help expand the reach. There's a difference, and I will tell you, there is a big difference that people can tell between the person who does this oh, we're trying to share it so that you will be inspired to do the same, and the person who's actually going, hey, we did this thing and it was actually really helpful and cool, and here's how you can expand that reach. So please try and keep where you're coming from here in the right place. But secondly, keep in mind that when you do these things that are worth talking about, if you're doing good work for people, they will want to share it out. When we released the Fly music video back in 2023, we had a ton of people not just sharing it out on social media. We had people sending it out to their friends, to their colleagues. We had people sending it out to people we did not even know. I had people reaching out going, wow, this friend sent me this video and I just needed to thank you for this. I needed this today. I still have people who share it out every so often, who reach out and say, wow, I really loved that video or that music, or like, it's amazing when you give people something that they can talk about, that doesn't feel pitchy, that just feels like value add, that aligns with your message, how much they will want to share it. So take a few minutes and actually sit down and think about, like, what could we do that other people would want to talk about? Because it doesn't feel promotional, but that aligns with who we are. If you are trying to provide water softeners, for example, right? Maybe your message is about getting clean water to people, and you could run an entire campaign. I live in Texas. We have hurricanes all the time here. It's great. But you could run a whole campaign where you make a big deal about getting so much water to the next set of hurricane victims. Like, you could make this part of your message where you are doing good, you're giving back, you're putting your marketing dollars in a place that is making a big impact, and other people want to talk about it. Now, it does usually take doing this a few times. People need to know that you're not just doing it for the sake of getting everyone to talk about you. But you will find that the more you do these things worth talking about, the more people do share, the more they want to talk about you, and the more user-generated content gets sparked automatically. HEB is a really great example of that. So again, Texas-based, but if you are here in Texas with me, you know that HEB is here, everything's better. It is one of the top grocery stores in the United States. It's a really, really powerful brand. And HEB has built a brand out of being there to support Texans. They have emergency response teams that show up with food, with water, with supplies for hurricane victims, for any like natural disaster victims as a whole. And they have built a brand out of it. So when they do show up, people are posting about it online. When something happens, people are automatically coming in and saying, when's HEB gonna do something? One, it's become part of their brand because they are really big on supporting Texans. And so this is part of how they do that. But two, they've done it enough times that people look for it, they talk about it before it happens, they talk about it when it happens, and they talk about it after it happens. It creates a slew and a series of user-generated content. You may take a little bit more time, right? HEB obviously can afford to have like a whole bunch of like trucks and millions of dollars allocated here. You may not be able to do that, but you can start using your social media, your emailing platforms to do some good somewhere to support people that goes beyond buy from me and get them to the point where they want to support you back by promoting you, by talking about you, by creating posts about you. That, my friends, that is user-generated content, and that is the future of marketing. And if you liked this, like and follow, because we'll be bringing you more videos talking about budget-friendly marketing for small businesses next week.